grabbed her arm hard and told her to stop talking, but Mrs. Pierce kept going anyway. This whole thing got out of control, and I'm so sorry. Her daughter's face turned red, and she whispered something harsh that made Mrs. Pierce stop talking completely. The mediator called for a break, and that's when I realized who was really running this whole revenge campaign against me. During the break, Nadine pulled me aside to show me something on her laptop. She'd been digging into court records from other states and found 3 different lawsuits filed by Mrs. Pierce's daughter in the past 5 years. Each one was for harassment or defamation against people who'd supposedly wronged her mother. The pattern was so obvious once you saw it all laid out. They'd move to a new town, find someone to target when something went wrong, get money through threats or lawsuits, then move again. One family in Ohio had their bakery almost shut down after Mrs. Pierce claimed they didn't take her allergy seriously. Another case in Michigan involved a teacher who got fired after accidentally bringing almonds to a staff meeting. Nadine had printed everything out, and when we went back into the mediation room, she slid the papers across the table. Their lawyer's face went white when he saw it all. The mediator spent the next 2 hours going through everything, and finally said what we all knew was coming. He recommended the Pierce family pay for my college costs, plus damages for the lost job and other stuff, but they wouldn't have to admit they did anything wrong legally. It made me so mad that they could destroy my life and just write a check to make it go away. Nadine squeezed my hand under the table and reminded me that going to trial would take years and might not end any better. The meeting ended with them saying they needed time to think about it. I spent the next 4 days barely sleeping and going back and forth about what to do. My mom sat with me at the kitchen table going through all the pros and cons over and over. She kept reminding me that my future was more important than making them admit what they did. "You can rebuild your life with that money," she said. "Or you can spend years fighting and maybe get nothing." She was right, but it still felt wrong to let them buy their way out of this. On the 5th day, Nadine called to say they'd agreed to the settlement but wanted a full NDA, so I could never talk about what happened. That was their final offer, and if we didn't take it, they'd fight us in court forever. I told Nadine, absolutely not. If I took their money, I at least wanted people to know the basic facts about what really happened. We went back and forth for another week with lawyers arguing about every little detail. Finally, their lawyer admitted that going to trial would be worse for them because all the evidence about their past lawsuits would become public record. They agreed to the settlement with no NDA on the basic facts, just couldn't share the settlement amount or their personal information. The check came through 2 weeks later, and when I saw the amount, I actually felt sick. It was enough for 4 years of college, plus living expenses, plus extra for all the damage they'd caused. My mom cried when she deposited it because she'd been so worried about how we'd pay for college after everything that happened. The money sat in that account feeling dirty, like I'd sold out somehow, but it was also my only chance at the future they'd tried to steal from me. A week after that, 2 of the colleges that had rejected me sent new letters. The school district had finally sent out their letter explaining that my suspension was an overreaction to a medical emergency and shouldn't be held against me. One was my dream school 3 states away, and the other was local. I picked the one farthest from this town without even thinking twice.